Pastors are facing all sorts of challenges in regards to discipling new believers to bring them into the image of Christ. I'm here with Pastor Darrell Stetler. And Darryl, with all the challenges of pastoring in 2025, how can churches create discipleship pathways and systems that produce mature believers, not just people who are turning up on Sunday?
Yes, it is called the Great Commission, not the Great Suggestion, right? Jesus gave us a commission to go and produce disciples. In fact, he said that the main verb in the Great Commission, linguistically in Greek, is make disciples. It's not baptizing or teaching them to observe, it's make disciples. So if churches are going to do this, we're going to have to get back to the passion that we must not just put behinds and seats and dollars and plates. We have to make disciples. And if we fail to do that, we have failed. And I don't care how big a crowd you can draw on Sunday, we've got to commit ourselves to that, reaching out, not just reaching out to get people to come in the door, but to make copies of Christ. So if we're going to do that, we're going to have to think ourselves clear about what our discipleship system is going to look like. We're going to have to think clearly about what it is we're trying to produce. We're going to have to think about how to make it simple enough that every level of Christian educationally can still produce a disciple. So it doesn't require us to send people away to Bible college for 4 years in order for them to come back home and make a disciple. It has to be the guy who didn't quite graduate from high school and has a GED and is working as a welder. You know, we've got to have those kind of people and get them in the game and off the sidelines. So there's a lot to talk about on that front, but that's the first step. Is we're going to have to think ourselves really, really clear about what we're trying to produce and how to make it simple enough that anybody could do it.
I think that's brilliant, to be honest with you, because I think simplicity with clarity is really helpful, because all of us, when we're confused, we generally say no. When things are too complex, we feel overwhelmed and we go, nah, forget it, not interested. But when it's clear and simple, we tend to say, okay, I'll have a look at that, or we come with a big yes to it. What do you think is the biggest mistake that churches are making? You're in the trenches, you've been pastoring for 22 years in the same church. What's the biggest mistake you think churches are making trying to move people from being a new believer into being a genuine disciple and follower of Jesus?
I think that the biggest mistake is the one that I made for a number of years, and that is I was winging it every time. I was making it up as I went, and so every time somebody gets saved, you say, okay, I gotta meet with this person. I gotta try to disciple them, and I've got to figure out now what was it I was going to have them read first, and what am I going to teach them after that? And I felt like I was just literally making it up as I go along, kind of Indiana Jones style. And so it doesn't work out too well if you are making it up as you go, for a couple of different reasons. One is you're not as effective as you ought to be. And secondly, nobody can follow you. You can't give it away. I was successful in making a few disciples by doing that and winging it just because I wanted to, and I'd go spend time with them. The problem is, after you spend a while with them and you say, okay, now just go do with somebody else what I did with you. And they're saying, I can't do that. I don't know, like, I don't have a Bible college degree, and I don't like doing question and answer. And I don't remember what the first thing was that you taught me, you know? And so instead we've got to set our discipleship process free from the need to be an expert. And we've got to set it free so any Christian can do that. And that's going to start by not winging it anymore.
Feeling stuck as a church leader? Growing your church doesn't have to be overwhelming. The Hub gives you step-by-step roadmaps to grow a healthy church in just 20 minutes a day. Join the hundreds of church leaders who found their breakthrough by accessing my 4 decades of ministry experience, which delivers genuine results. Start your free 14-day trial today at growahealthychurch.com/hub. Oh, I love that. I love that. Have some sort of structure, pathway. I love in the book of Proverbs, it talks about the way of wisdom, and that word way or path appears so many times in Proverbs. I think wisdom actually requires us to build footpaths, we call them in Australia, pathways that people can walk down very clearly.
Absolutely.
Now, you're a man after my own heart. You love developing resources. You've developed New Start Discipleship, which I'll link to in the description. What made you realize that traditional church models were struggling to make disciples, and kind of caused you maybe even to develop those resources to help churches think
Sure.
differently about this?
Yeah. I feel like it was just kind of born out of my own desire to do it better. I thought, you know what, I haven't done well. And that's a hard thing to admit after doing
Yeah.
something for 10 years. It's like I haven't done well with multiplying disciple makers. I looked at 2 Timothy 2:2, where Paul says to Timothy, the things you've heard from me. So you got two generations of disciples, right? Give to other faithful men who are able to teach others also. And there's 4 generations of discipleship in that one verse. And Paul, that's in 2 Timothy, it's probably the last thing he ever wrote. He's never going to meet Timothy's disciples. He's never going to meet that 4th generation. But he knew he had given Timothy something clear enough that he could multiply it out. And so I looked at that and said, that's not what I have. And I've got to find something else. And so a lot of times for smaller church pastors, the discipleship model is kind of one of two things. It's like, come to church every week, and that's about their only plan. And the second thing is, I heard a friend of mine say, he said the dominant mental model of discipleship in the United States, and maybe this is true in Australia as well. He said the dominant mental model is a person in a spacesuit. We've got to get them into a self-contained environment to protect them from a hostile world. Wow. If we don't get them in a self-contained environment quickly, they die. And I thought, yeah, that's true. I have thought about it that way. And then he said, well, the other thing you need to know is that the dominant mental model of discipleship in the New Testament is a baby born into a family. And so I started creating resources like the New Start Discipleship Journal, which is the first thing that I give a brand new Christian. I just gave it to somebody week before last, and I'm meeting with 2 guys tomorrow morning to talk about some of this stuff. So one of the first things I have them do in the journal is it says, take a moment and ask your mentor the biggest question you have about today's scripture reading. So I want to build in connection. I want to build in going back to the person who's mentoring you. And instead of just making it, let's get deeper in our smartphones, I want to make it something that drives connection.
Yeah, I love that. And there are probably pastors watching us today who feel time poor. They feel limited in their financial resources in their church, and they don't feel like they've got enough people around them to support them. What would you say to a pastor in that scenario? What's a minimum viable discipleship strategy they can employ over the next month that will work and will start the ball rolling for them?
Yes. So you got to have a plan, and whether you're doing all of these things, which I built, or whatever, you've got to get a hold of a plan and then just start meeting with people. Just get started. Don't sit around and don't wait for something spontaneous and painless to drop out of the sky. You're going to have to go get with people and sit down with them. And so that's tomorrow. I'm meeting with a young man from 8 to 9 and another young man from 9 to 10, because that's what it's going to take for these guys I'm going to have to spend time with them face to face, life on life. And that's what it's going to have to take. Minimum viable thing is not a $50,000 a year discipleship pastor adding them to your staff. And it's not a $5,000 program. It's much, much more that what will you do, and can you make a copy of yourself? I actually have a whole discipleship coaching program. In fact, would it be okay if I gave this for free to your audience in the show notes?
That'd be fabulous. That'd be fabulous. Thank you.
Will do.
Thank you.
Sure.
Awesome. That's huge, Darryl. You know, I think one of the key aspects of discipling people is to get them into the scriptures and understanding the scriptures. And I'd like you to check out this interview I did with Pastor Aaron Price on a simple disciple. So simple, to be honest honest with you. Discipleship hack on how he got his church reading the Bible and connecting with one another in WhatsApp groups. It's quite remarkable what he achieved by accident. Check out this interview with Aaron Price. And Darrell, thanks so much for all your resources. We'll put links to all those resources and help pastors disciple. So important. Thanks for all that you're doing to help pastors do better today.
Fantastic, John. God bless you.